Hard to imagine it has been a week since Harvey slammed into Texas, but the waters in some places continue to rise, as do the rescues. And as does the work of our own Griff Jenkins, who has been on the ground for the past week and done some incredible work as he has been out with the rescuers. He's with Fort Bend County Sheriff's deputies and the sheriff himself right now. As you guys are, what are you doing, Griff? You're now patrolling and dealing with livestock?
That's right, Leland. We're here in Booth in a rural part of Fort Bend County with Sheriff Troy Nails, and he's delivering much-needed cattle feed. A large cattle farmer here stranded, isolated by waters. Sheriff, first, what are you doing here?
Well, we have many cattle ranchers outside of this Booth area, and obviously this water has come from the Brazos River. So some of the ranchers reached out to us and said, hey, listen, I know some of our cattle is on high ground, but we have no way to get them food. And when these cattle don't have food for 3 days, it's over. So we're doing everything we can to try to assist them and get some of this food back to their cattle so they can survive.
And Sheriff, I think Leland and the rest of America wants to know, you know, the president has landed now, and you've said maybe he should come out here with us. Obviously, Secret Service didn't put him on this boat, but why should the president be out here? If you could share that with Leland and the rest of the country.
It is my understanding that he is in Texas, and we appreciate the president being here. And I also appreciate the fact and respect the fact that he's meeting with our state and federal officials here. But have the president here in Fort Bend County to reassure the flood victims in Fort Bend County, not just to hear the talk and the federal bureaucracy that comes with federal government, to come from his own words saying, I'm going to eliminate some of this bureaucracy, some of this red tape. And I think it would just be reassuring for the residents of Fort Bend County that have lost everything, because this is very trying times for them all.
Leland?
Griff, I want to take a couple of minutes first to thank the sheriff for all of his efforts. We have seen him and his signature hat for hours and hours of work and days of rescue. In addition to what you want to hear from the president, Sheriff, what do you specifically need? We know we've talked a lot about what the sort of urban and suburban folks need. What do folks out in the rural parts of Texas who've been affected, what do you guys need?
We've had so much support here from our state and federal authorities. I mean, you have Department of Public Safety out here. You have the Border Patrol out here. There are so many people that have rushed into the state of Texas to support the flood victims here in Fort Bend County. But I also, it's emotions right now. People are very emotional. They're going to be out of their homes for the next several days, and they understand that their federal government is at work through FEMA to help them. But having our President of the United States here in Fort Bend County to look him in the eyeballs and say, we are here. We are here to help eliminate some of this red tape. I'm going to get with my cabinet members and do everything I can to get you back into your homes.
Well, certainly a presidential visit means a lot to everybody, and we're hearing that from folks down there who he's just about headed to. Sheriff, you mentioned so many people who have come in to Texas to help, so many who have come in with their boats and put their own lives on the line to help you and your deputies rescue folks. At the same time, there have been looters who have come in. There have been folks who come in who want to take advantage of the situation. Your message to them?
We have had, we've heard of looting around the greater Houston area, specifically Harris County. As far as Fort Bend County, we haven't. I made a comment the other day that we support the Second Amendment here in Fort Bend County, and there are many of us that are armed. I would caution those that want to come and prey on our people here in Fort Bend County that are suffering so much right now. You may want to stay out of Fort Bend County, because you could leave this county in a bag.
I would say that's a pretty clear warning to everybody, Sheriff. I don't think that minced any words there. And it's a little stronger warning. The Houston police chief just warned folks that they were going to go to jail for a long time. So this is a step up, you might say. I wanted to, if the president can't visit, and understandably he can't visit everywhere, what do you all need in terms of resources from the federal government that you don't have, or are you doing pretty well? Is the federal government giving you everything you need to help folks who, as you point out, are in such desperate need?
Fort Bend County is doing so well. I've been receiving so many phone calls from the area churches and civic organizations that are willing to offer up their homes for showers and warm towels and blankets. The food, the restaurants around Fort Bend County, just offering their support. The grocery stores. We're doing quite well with. We're able to feed the flood victims within Fort Bend County, but the real challenge ahead now is the recovery effort for the next several weeks, and that's where our federal government really needs to step up and take notice.
Well, Sheriff, it would be an understatement to say that you and your men have stepped up in an incredible way, and I know that is something, Griff, as we thank you and thank the Sheriff, that you can attest to.
Thank you. Thank you both.
All right. Thanks, Sheriff. Griff, thank you. Appreciate the good work. We're going to keep watching your camera there.